So, Miles, the Philadelphia Eagles. My belief coming out of Sunday is pretty simple. The same way that I didn't think the Dallas Cowboys were a hopeless, hapless, worthless team in week 5 after the 49ers beat them 42-10. I don't think it's over for the Eagles after they lose 42-19. For crying out loud, they're 10-2. So I don't view this as a TKO or anything like that. Teams lose badly. I mean, the 2003 Patriots, Buffalo 31, Patriots 0. Patriots win the Super Bowl. I don't know. I just think these games should not be made too much of. And look, the only thing that really bothered me in this game for Philadelphia, and I mean the only thing, is that their defense just, after the first 2 series, didn't do anything to Brock Purdy. And that defensive front is too good to be a non-impact player. In 4 quarters to have 2 sacks for 4 yards and to consistently not be able to get pressure on him. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I'd agree with you. I mean, you mentioned the record 10-2. What's that remind you of, right? Reminds you of driving. You know, you got your hands on the steering wheel, they should be at 10-2. And the Eagles right now, they're still in the driver's seat
Yeah.
for that number 1 overall seed if they just keep winning. And, you know, they have not necessarily been overwhelming all season long, but the thing that the Eagles still have is multiple ways to beat you. And whenever you have an offensive line that is as good as the Eagles is, and, you know, you look at their defensive line, and as you just mentioned, they were not up to their standard in Sunday's game, but usually they are better than that, right? And what they can usually do is get pressure with 4. So I don't think that this is the end of the world either. Now, if they go down to Dallas and they still lay an egg, then we might have a different conversation. But I don't really expect them to do that. It is one game. It's something that you can get yourself over. And over the last 2 years, I mean, this team just has not really lost football games that often. So I think that they're going to be okay.
Right.
I really do. It's just one game. It is not necessarily the end of everything. And yeah, there are some warning signs, but those are things that I believe can be corrected and that the Eagles can still make it to the top of the NFC at the end of the season.
My biggest warning sign would be 76 points allowed in the last 2 games against Buffalo and San Francisco. Going into Dallas, which clearly can score. And I guess I would look at this game coming up, Miles, and basically think of 2 points. One, Dak Prescott's really hot right now. They need to put pressure on him. And what Dak has done very well is move. You know, it was funny. Before this year, I think a lot of people thought, well, Dak's got to really get to that next level. To get to the next level, he's got to move better in and around the pocket. And he's done that. Mike McCarthy has really set it up so that he's now become a guy who throws more on the run, who gets out of the pocket. So I like what I've seen with that. The Eagles have just got to bother him more than they have bothered the last 2 weeks, Josh Allen and Brock Purdy. But the second thing in this game I think is really interesting is, you know, coming out of that game, DeAndre Swift got banged up. DeAndre Swift is essential in this game for the Philadelphia Eagles to win, I believe. This is a guy who I believe is a better running back than Miles Sanders was last year for him. But he's got to be healthy enough to be an impact player. I'd say give him 20 or 23 touches. Keep the ball out of Dak Prescott's hands Sunday in Dallas. Who do you like in that one, Miles?
Well, I think I like Dallas. And one of the reasons is the Cowboys have just started playing really, really, really well at home, Peter. They've won their last 14 games at home, which is just not necessarily something you would think of, that AT&T Stadium is going to be a big home field advantage for them. I mean, you get visiting fans coming there. You know, you want to go to Jerry's World, and Dallas is a decent place to go visit. I know that stadium's really in Arlington, but, you know, that's not necessarily a place, at least for the first however many years of its existence, that you thought, oh yeah, that's got a big home field advantage. But for whatever reason, over the last couple of years with Mike McCarthy, they have just turn that place into somewhere you don't really want to go play. So, excuse me, I think that that's going to be a factor. And really, Jordan Love, I think, is the only quarterback right now who's playing about as well as Dak Prescott. And I say that with all due respect to Brock Purdy, who also is playing great right now. But that offense and the skill players they've got and the offensive line they've got is just at a different level than most other teams. And Dak Prescott is playing out of his mind over these last few weeks. And so, given all of those different things and the problems defensively that we've seen from Philadelphia over the last couple of weeks, even though I just said they're correctable, against this divisional opponent, these guys know each other very well. I can see the Cowboys winning this game for sure.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.